Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Ozzin. Ozzin is from South Korea, but she lives in Switzerland. So let's see what Ozzin has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello.
Hi, William.
Hello Ozzin, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Doing very well, thank you very much. Thanks for taking the time on Sunday afternoon to do the interview with me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Should I call you Ozzin or Ozzin Jun?
You can just call me Ozzin. Ozzin is yeah.
Okay, Ozzin. Right, so just before we start the game, just tell me where you're from.
So I'm originally from South Korea. I was born there, but by the age of 6, I moved to Switzerland, and ever since I grew up here. So yeah, Switzerland is pretty much my home.
I see. And which part of Switzerland?
I'm in the Swiss-German part called Lucerne. It's a small village surrounded by lakes and mountains, but yeah, really beautiful.
Oh wow, amazing. And what's the weather look like right now over there?
Right now, it's kind of dynamic. So it's been raining last week, but sometimes the sun comes. But I would say it's very changing, kind of changing fast.
Right. And what's the best parts and the worst parts living over there, in your opinion?
So I think the best part is the fresh air from Switzerland. Like honestly, like it's very clean, beautiful nature, mountains, the view. Like the quality of life is very high here.
Absolutely.
But the downside, sometimes I feel like it could be more dynamic in terms of more fun. Maybe it has also sometimes to do with certain mentalities here. Not all Swiss people, but like in terms of the entertainment and things. But yeah, that's the only thing.
Right. And tell me, what do you do for a living?
So I'm a full-time entrepreneur. So I'm a business mentor and coach, and I help aspiring entrepreneurs and also coaches, consultants to set up their own coaching business and transform their lives and lifestyles through that.
Wow, that's amazing, amazing. And what's, in your opinion, what's the most interesting thing about your job?
The most interesting thing is that every person is different. Of course, they all have a different story. And I think every time when I see my clients win, it's a huge win for myself as well, because I get to learn from my mentees. And as a mentor, you constantly grow as well. So it's very interesting because the transformation of someone else is at the same time my own transformation.
Do you believe that last year this business grew up more and more because everyone was kind of closed? They didn't have too much opportunity to, to go out and try to find new opportunities. Do you think last year was like a plus for your business, or was it like a challenge?
Well, actually, the Corona allowed me to have success right now in business, because I think it was a game changer for the whole world and companies out there, and for all of us in different ways. But I think it's always about what you make out of the situation, right? So, if you just take the moment and, take the opportunity to create something. So last year, I dropped out of my university for my bachelor's degree, and I started my entrepreneurial path. I started back then as a copywriter and then transitioned into a business mentor and coach. And for myself, I saw a lot of people, like emerging coaches and consultants, and they kind of look for jobs. They had a lot of money problems, mental health problems, and that kind of thing made myself as well crazy, to see that around me. So I just, took everything and my passion to help those people to make online money, but not just money, but actually something that fulfills them and helps them on a mental health as well, to create their lifestyle. So for me, that's been a huge opportunity. And I think not everyone is meant to be a coach, but for those, who really are passionate about helping people and have a specific problem they solve, for them, like, why not? And then I help them to set this up. So I think, in my case, it was a positive thing, although it was not always easy, but yeah.
Absolutely. Great, good to know. Okay, Ozzin, so welcome to William and the Magic Box. A beautiful journey through your memories in life and your point of views.
Of course, I'm excited.
Amazing. And just to let you know, if there is any question you don't have an answer for, don't want to answer, always can change. I always can take another one. Okay, it's very chilled and relaxed and friendly. Okay.
For sure.
Right, I'm just gonna play a song now, just for us to dance a little bit before the first question. Ready?
Sure.
Let's do it. Right, so Ozzin, ready for the first question?
I am.
Let's do it. So the first question is, what is your favorite place in the entire world and why?
Oh, my favorite place is actually at the lake. I like to be around water. So whether it's here in Switzerland or actually in Australia at the Gold Coast, like it's so far one of my favorite places. And yeah, I think also the places kind of change because it's always about the people who makes us.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that would be that.
So all your family are back South Korea, or they live in Switzerland as well?
So a part of my family is in South Korea, another part is here in Switzerland, and same goes for my friends. I feel like having a lot of international friends around, a lot of Swiss people, but also, you know, in France, US, Korea. It's quite international.
Yes, I've been Switzerland 3 times actually. I've been twice in Geneva and I've been once in the German side. And it's just as sometimes people ask me, like in the magic box, when they ask me a question at the end of the show, they go like, if you could choose a place to live, and, you know, where would you choose? Switzerland, straight away. As you said before, it's such a fresh air. It's just like people, the quality, the life quality as well is a difference compared with other places around. I think it's very lucky people in Switzerland, that's for sure.
Yeah, you should come. Like, I think many people, they would not regret this visit, like the nature and all these things. Like, it's quite, you know, memorizing and experiencing.
Great. Second question. Let's do it. You are my first guest from South Korea. Wow, amazing. Right, next question for you is, if you're not yourself, would you like to be yourself and why?
Oh, I love the question. Yes, I think so, because like we all have a reason why we are ourselves. I think God didn't just, you know, create you or me like just the way it is. Like we are meant to be ourselves. And I think it's important to remain original to ourselves. For me, it's always like there is this quote like great artists steal, but I think it's important to get inspiration from different resources. But the one thing that I always tell myself is, you know, the future version of myself, that is the biggest inspiration to me. And that's why when you ask this question, like for me, it's like, yeah, no way. Like I am Ozzin and you're William, and that's what we should own.
Great, absolutely, I totally agree as well. I think it's the only tools, like genuine tool that you have to be yourself and to be around in the world, isn't it? Just yeah, I think everyone is unique. Everyone got something that no one else has. So yes, totally agree with you. Next question. Let's do it, Ozzin. Right, before the next question, tell me, and what's the most challenging part of your business, in your opinion? There is any.
Yeah, so I think the most challenging part is often to make people realize their own worth and get their mindset right. So I think it's a whole transformation, sometimes even their healing journey, that contributes a lot on how they were shaped. Because of course past is past, but many people, they had like a bad experience on certain things, or let's say also with other coaches and mentors, and when they come in, they kind of think about the things that didn't work out in the past, and they come in without an abundance mindset or success mindset. They don't even know what really success is. And first, before I get started, I have to know where they are, like why they are the way they are, what shaped them, what experiences they had, and to resolve inner blocks. So I think that is often, you know, the starting point when people have unclarity. But once this kind of solved and we get clear and awaken them, then, you know, things move really faster. But it's mostly in the beginning of the process when they just come in with all these chaotic mind and things.
Great, good one. Next question is, good question. If you could make up a school subject, what that would be and why?
It would be One of the things is mental health and financial literature, like both of them, because I think many people, we learn a lot of things in school that might be important, but a lot of things when it comes to life, when it comes to how to handle money, how to live a fulfilling and healthy life, comes also high performance and your mindset. I think it's something that we are not really taught to manage ourselves around that. So that's definitely a school subject that I would add.
Very good, very good. Next question. Let's do it, Ozzin. Right. Next question is, tell us about your guilt pleasure.
Guilt pleasure. Okay, so to think of, I think one of the things guilt. I did a lot of trouble things in life, but because I just jumped and I didn't have the courage to do things. So maybe in the moment I did feel, for example, when I was 18, I actually dropped school back then to go to America and to become a freelance artist. So at that moment, there was a little of a kind of a guilt because I feel like, oh, I should kind of finish the school. But the pleasure that was one of the most life-changing events, because when I went there, I traveled the world, in terms of I went to America, Korea, went to certain place to Europe. I met different artists and creators around the world and actually find out the purpose and awakened myself on a different level. So that was the whole pleasure, was a lot of crazy experiences that I jumped into it. And the guilt sometimes was that, I was kind of a bit edgy, edgy, unconventional, sometimes doing the trouble. But it led to good things overall.
Absolutely. I think everything in life counts, everything you do, even as you said about crazy or something that's not, something that you're not planned properly. But at the end of the day, when you look back, you go I'm glad I did that. For some reason, put me in a place that I am right now. And experiencing life, something that it always counts and always gonna have. Good. But you were 18 then, when you went to America, 18, you just left everything, okay, I'm gonna go to America and try something new. That was the reason.
The thing is, just to give a bit context, ever since I was a child, it was always my dream to become an artist. And I artist in terms of art. But then I realized over those years that art alone is not what I want, but use this entrepreneurship in form of innovation to improve, the world in some ways and solve problems. So I still think that even all entrepreneurs, we're all artists because skill, it requires a different, skill set and a backpack that you need for all of these things. And we are here meant to create, right? So we have the canvas in our hands. And I think as an entrepreneur, you are here to do that, to solve problems, but also, make the best out of living and be an artist of life. So that's my huge realization, but that allowed me, to jump on with different things, be an artist creator, and then allowed me to be where I am today, steady on my place, have my focus, but without exploring, I wouldn't know what I don't like or like. So I think
I agree, totally agree. Next question, Ozzin. Let's do it. Next question for you is, tell us something interesting about yourself. You said a lot already, you said so much already.
Interesting. Interesting would be that I'm quite sometimes unexpected, in terms of I can be surprising. I sometimes shock myself. And then, in terms of when I want something or when my gut feeling intuition says this is right, I will take the decision, I will fully commit myself. So sometimes I feel like people underestimate because I often get perceived as this good girl, innocent girl. I was always very serious and kind of, in academics, school was very important. But then suddenly I dropped out of university, suddenly I become an entrepreneur, suddenly I went there, suddenly I did this, I do have my reasons, but I think this is something that people get shocked by, of my reactions and in certain situations that I take full ownership.
See, very interesting. Sometimes you never judge the book by the cover, as they say.
Yes.
I like that. Next question. Before the next question, Lucy. And so you always had the support of your family when you said, okay, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, I'm going to invest everything on it. Did you always have support of your family regarding that?
Yes and no. So first of all, when I started, I think my mom, she was always excited, like she always believed in me, whatever dream I had. But of course, as a parent, you start to worry a lot about, like having not a degree and going this other unconventional way. So there were a lot of times she got anxiety because of me and sometimes even cried. And then I had to go to my mom. And then I just learned, and it's also the advice that I give to other young entrepreneurs, because I'm not the only one who faced that, is really to empathize first with your parents, like try to understand them and then go really deep in that, and then just give the view of yourself. And I told my mom, like this is what makes me happy and most fulfilling. And this is where I truly believe, and I will do whatever it takes. So I started almost kind of to pitch, not just pitch, but really, like show her how much that makes me happy in life. And once I told her, like she started to understand it better and also believed in me. And then later on, she supported me until now a lot. And every time when she comes back with the worries, I just, learned not to react, but to respond cool. And just to, understand her again, and then again, inspire my mom as well. So my mom even maybe wants to start with me entrepreneurship. So yeah, I think that's a good thing.
Oh, wow. Absolutely. And tell me, when was the day? Like, what that something happened when you said, okay, that's the day when I'm gonna go start this career in my life? There was like a moment, something unexpected happened to you that you said, okay, that's the day I'm gonna start that now. There was something special, or?
So I think the entrepreneurial spirit, it was always in me as a child. I used to always like kind of sell flowers and things when I was like 6 years old. It's like I steal flower from the rich gardens and then go to people and kind of sell them. And then as I grew up, I always want to create things by myself. So even as a 13, 14-year-old, I always analyzed what's the world problems, what can I do for it? So the drive was always in me. But then, as we grew up in society, I kind of had the plan of bachelor's degree, master's, get a corporate job, be a manager one day. And for me, the whole kickoff was when I was in university last year. And then the pandemic hit. I was already kind of involved in a side hustle. I did copywriting and I did a lot of networking on LinkedIn. And one day, like university became the side hustle, and my side hustle became the main thing. And then I kind of slept almost like, I didn't sleep really for a really long time. Like sometimes I slept only 3-4 hours because of the work in university and my entrepreneurship. And then I asked myself the question, what is more valuable to you? Like, what's more worth? And at that point, I just decided to dedicate all my focus and attention and energy into, entrepreneurship, because there I could see the real business world, work with real clients versus like sitting in a classroom listening to my business teacher who never really did some business. And that was kind of, I did learn a lot of things in university, more in the real world. That's why I decided to drop that.
Very good. Next question for you is, tough question. If your plane was going down and you could call just one person to say goodbye, who that would be and why?
It would be my mom, because she's still one of the most closest person to me. Like for me, my mom is like my best friend and like my soulmate. So I would always like call her first in many of these times. Yeah.
Oh, great. Next question. Let's do it. Okay, I see. Next question for you is, what is the strangest gift have you ever received?
Oh, the strangest gift. I think it's, for me, the strangest meetings I've ever had in my life. And that reflects actually back to the people. I always believed from child until now, the biggest gifts I have are always the people in life. And I had a lot of strange meetings when I traveled. Like, I call them always the random purposeful meetings, because I believe even the fact that we are now talking, like, I do believe everyone has kind of a purpose why we meet and how it impacts us. And yeah, I met a lot of people. Like, one guy I met in Switzerland, like my mom met him in a chocolate shop in Switzerland while he was traveling from the US. And because he was not, like finding accommodation, like he actually happened to come to our house. We got friends, and that allowed me to have a very good friendship. And I go to New York after 1 or 2 years, and as for artistic life. And because of him and other people I met, the change went further. And there were so many crazy ways. I went to Greek or Korea, met people randomly on the streets, had a small talk, and then they're one of my best friends, So I think it's very crazy how kind of things just, come to us, but are the biggest blessing.
Absolutely. They are beautiful gifts that come naturally to us. I agree. Great. Next question for you. Okay, Ozzin, before the next question, tell me what's the most common, let's say, questions or the most common necessity that your clients, they come after you, if they need your support, of your help. What's the most common, let's say, questions or things that they are facing?
Yeah, so the most common question is, how can I increase my revenue? Like, it's one of the things that many people struggle with, the money issue, that they do what they love, but they don't have the money for it. And they kind of have this pressure, financial pressure. Like, that's one of the things. The second thing is they're kind of confused. They're lacking clarity and direction. Like, they kind of know that they are a coach, they know that they want to transform people's life, but they're still very broad. And they do already have, some of them, they have already an offer, but they're not really sure how to craft an irresistible offer that is based on delivery and transformation. So these are these things. And then the internal things are, the inner blocks. They don't have a system in place, marketing, how to get more eyeballs on their offer, and so on. So these are the most common things. And this is where I help people. So whether they're someone who have no coaching business and literally just, they just have the spirit. And then I really make that as a foundation to get aligned their life purpose with their business purpose, and to craft an offer based on their experience. Because the wrong belief is that many people think they're not an expert in something. They don't feel good enough. They think they don't have a license or certification. But we all had traumas or problems we faced in life. And the problems that you overcame, you're the master of that problem. So I always tell people that you have to own your story before, and you have to own the superpower that you already have and build up on that. So that is what I do with the new people who come in. And for coaches who are there, I see where their problems are with the offers, with the marketing. And then, I go through them, restructure their programs and things and the messaging, and get them new clients so they can, have a life with the business.
Very good. Next question for you is, what do you think people need to know about each other before they get married?
Oh, I love that question. I think there are many things that is important, especially when it comes to marriage. One of the things is to see what their non-negotiables are. I think it's really important. The value has to be aligned at the vision as well. You have to know the partner really in deep ways, like physically and emotionally, intellectually. But it's important to know what their 3 non-negotiables are, like things they cannot really never give up, what is really meaningful to them, and know if you are ready, to accept it, to give them the space or whatever they need. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think as well, they should at least spend some time living together, because sometimes you just pick those little habits just living together. You don't see like meeting up or sleeping sometimes over. So I think if you spend like let's say a while living together, then we're gonna see the real person. Their, their habits that we don't show off like easily.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, I really agree, because so many people, they kind of see or meet them sometimes, but living together with your partner for a certain amount of time, and also meeting their parents and family, I think it's so important, because when you marry, it's not just Me too. It's like your hobbies, your life, your vision, your family, friends, your circle, and the way how your partner also, is, around your friends and family. It tells a lot about on how it will impact you as well. So it's important to get a big, broad, and a deep picture as well, literally, and then make this decision because
Yeah, it's a big step. It's a big step, isn't it? Step for life. So you should be very careful with those things for sure. Cool. Another question. For the next question, tell me, when you think about South Korea, what's the memory? Do you have any memory that sticks to your head straight away, or memories that your parents, they still keep on, like around? There's something that when you think about South Korea?
So when I was in South Korea, I was a baby, literally. So it's like not much I can actually remember. I was just born there, but as I said, I grew up in Switzerland. So from the childhood, I see some pictures or things, and it kind of evokes in me the different memories and emotions. But one of the biggest things that I can still remember is the holidays I went there, because as I lived in Switzerland, there were still times year by year I went to South Korea. And I had back then like no friends there because, as I said, I was a baby. But my vacations, I mean the food there, the culture, the music, the new people in Korea, like that is very memorable. And for me, it's of course also my grandparents and the great food, kind of also feeling home in a different way there. So yeah.
Good, very good. Right. Next question is, what makes you feel discouraged?
Discouraged, that's a good question. I think it's when I'm playing the victim by myself. It's a post that I actually did today. When there are people around who are not empowering, who are not uplifting, small-minded people, and when I'm weak and not really taking full ownership, and then start to pity myself and a victim and start to, the energy is just contagious from the environment, that can be a bit discourageous in the moment. But I think then it's really important to zoom out, empower yourself and really to change your environment, be around those, supportive empowerments and big, visionary people around you. But yeah, of course, I think it's the people around you that matters. And sometimes it can be discouraging if you have spent too much time with a negative person, kind of this vampire drainers, and it can be exhausting. Yeah.
And there is something that there is like a barrier, something like automatic that do you find, or do you do not to get this energy out of this bad energy? There is something that you do or to protect yourself, or you just go away from the person, or try to go?
Yeah, it's a good question, because I think it's very important to protect our own energy, like very much. Like back then when I started off, there were still sometimes some insecurities like in terms of when I talk to a person and the person is very negative about all these things, then I used to kind of almost defend myself to say that it's really good, I do believe in myself. But then when you're back in your room, you start to think about the doubts, like it's somewhere it's kind of still there. But now, being on this entrepreneurial path, I learned so much to build so much faith and, this foundation in me. So when someone comes like that, it's not like it puts me off the track, because my faith and belief is bigger. And it kind of provokes me to go even further if I hear that. But I think a good way that I protect my energy is to set the boundaries, I try to empathize with a person, and then take their advice or things with gratefulness. No matter if it's good or bad advice, I just try to understand why they're saying it, and I'm like, oh, thanks, really grateful. But I decide I don't take this energy or advice and put them away, but with gratitude and with grace, and then move on.
You just transform this energy in a positive way. Yeah, that's what it was. Well,
then I just move on. Like if I don't have to literally spend more time with that person, but if I'm just there and because if it's an event or I met them up, I'm not running away, but I try to understand their view and maybe get inspiration in a different way. And yeah, we always learn from people. So yeah.
Really agree as well. Another question. Let's do it. Next question for you is, what are the top 3 things on your bucket list?
Oh, I love that. So one of the top things is to go to America. Like I've been already there, but I want to live there for a certain amount of time, especially in California, Los Angeles. I want to run my own business there as well. And same goes for Dubai. That's why my background is Dubai. It's one of the steps that I want to, I want to go there. So that's on my bucket list. And the second thing is I want to do bungee jumping. I know it's like I did already skydiving, but I don't know. It's like sometimes I just want to do something that's out of my comfort zone, and that kind of excites me. So I love to do that. And the third thing is that has to do with my life purpose, build actually a whole academy on leadership and change the education and health systems around, because it's something, that I feel like we have a lot of world problems, from climate change and from the poverty, from religious wars. But I think most of the problems, it reflects back to the lack of education and awareness level. And that is something that I want to change also on a political level, but also as an entrepreneur, like together. So that's definitely on my bucket list as well.
Which one do you think is going to be the first one to come true?
I think the first one will be I think it will be America or Dubai.
Right.
That thing. And then also bungee jump, maybe maybe in Dubai.
Yeah, in Dubai.
Or skydiving. And then, the big thing that I told you about the whole academy and helping people, I think that journey already has started. That's what I'm doing now with different people's lives and constantly build up on it. And find people, who are also driven by that. I cannot achieve that by myself, but with, I own my power and create a movement to change the world like that.
Ooh. Next question. Let's do it. Right, before the next one, there is someone like who is your biggest idol or inspirational person regarding this business, the entrepreneurial business?
So one of them, like I do have a lot of people that I actually look up to, but I think if I had to pick one person, it's my future self. Like it's like a very, uncommon thing, because many people, they say, Tony Robbins, Gary Vee, you have all these big influencers, and I do actually really look up on them. And I have a lot of mentors that I've invested to, and I get inspired from them daily. But if I have to pick really one person, that is myself. I imagine myself 10 years ahead. How would Ozzin act in 10 years, the 32 years old one? And that is my inspiration, like daily when I wake up. And I know when I'm 32, the biggest inspiration will be my version again in 10 years, which is the 42. So this is where I see my biggest mentor and teacher, myself.
I love your answer. Beautiful. I love it. Right. Next question is, if you had only 24 hours of life, what would you do?
I would eat delicious foods. And I love food. I love, food is life. And also, of course, the people around. So I would contact my loved ones, my friends, people, and just, to thank them and say I love you, and just share that. And I think even the ones that maybe I didn't connect really, or the ones who kind of gave me some sort of pain or toxic in life, I would even contact them and say, hey, look, I'm really cool, and literally send them love, and do all the.
I love it. Okay, Ozzin, I have 3 questions left for you. Okay, let's do it. Right, next question for you is, what was your worst wardrobe mistake?
Worst wardrobe? You mean like my fashion, like how I dress up?
Yeah, something that didn't work out the way you dress up in an occasion, special occasion. When you look back, you go like, I should have changed that. I should have worn that.
Yeah, so yeah, I remember. One time I was on a business event with my mom, and at that time, like we're walking in the city, and I had like a black kind of dress on, but the dress was kind of the design was in a special shape, and on the back side I had like a zipper that actually holds my dress, but the zipper was not just on the back side, like it's interconnected with the whole dress. So when the zipper goes down, like the whole dress would fall off, like everything. And guess what happened? Like I dressed up like that, and I kind of figured out that was not the best choice. Like I could have, for the business, kind of dressed up maybe in a different style at that time. And the second thing was the zipper that kind of broke down. So in the middle of the street, the zipper went down, and I almost was naked on the street with my mom. And I screamed off, and because you could almost see the underwear or things, I just
Oh my.
the wall. And my mom covered me, and I went to a shop and bought a new outfit at that day.
Oh my God, what a day. Poor you.
Yeah. But yeah, it was, I mean, it was kind of funny, but back then it was super embarrassing.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, right, Ozzin, I have two questions left for you. Let's do it. Next question for you is, when have you been the most happy?
Well, I've been most happy when my sister was born, my sister. I remember back then when, yeah, I mean, right now she's 16, but the first time she was born, I was so happy because I always wished actually a sister. And yeah, and when my mom was pregnant, they always asked me sister or brother, and my wish was always a sister back then. And I was very impatient. And the night when I asked this question, the next day, actually she was born. So yeah, I had so many happy moments in my life. Like honestly, it's very overwhelming to tell you all this, but I think one of the things that is stuck is having my sister, and yeah.
I believe you. I believe you are very close to her. I believe.
Yes, we are.
Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet. Ready for the last one?
Alright.
My God, I could be here another hour with you, just going through questions. You are so easy answering questions. I would learn a lot, that's for sure. Let's go for the last one. Before the last question, what does intuition mean to you? What's your opinion about intuition? Do you think people should always follow their intuition?
Yes, I do believe so. I have a lot of practical examples, but I always think that intuition is the driver in a car. And some people, they kind of, when we have decisions in life, there is our mind, heart, everything that kind of messes around with it. And sometimes we kind of ignore the intuition despite our instinct that we know this is maybe not the right thing. It doesn't feel, correct, but we still do it because of the mind and because of the current situation. But I think it's only a matter of the time when the driver's seat will be overtaken by intuition. It's only the time. So why not trust it from the start on? I had a lot of times in my life where I could save myself because of my intuition. When it comes to exclusive contracts, when it comes to, important decisions, when it comes to dropping out of uni, like doing things in my business. You have to also, measure on the objective sometimes and the data. But whenever I say when people really get on the time where they really don't know at all, I always say you have to ask your heart, because the heart has no questions but answers, and the soul and intuition knows, but your mind will always have further questions. So you have to dig there where your answers already are, which lies in the heart and intuition. So yeah.
Wow, amazing. Last question is, what would be the theme song of your, sorry, let me put it again. What would your theme song be if you had your own show?
I love it because I'm actually working on it. So shows, like it's like, as you know, so one of the shows, it's my dream to have my own TV show and podcasting show, because the thing that I'm actually building up apart from my coaching business is a media company called Your Universal Way. And the dream is to have a show on that called Your Universal Way, or the Oz show. And Ozzin actually stands for the word royal. And And I think that we are all kind of kings and queens and have our own kingdom in us. That's why I always say to people, we're never alone. Like, you are you, I am Austin, but who are you really? And I think it's the whole kingdom that unites us. Like, I live in you, you live in me, like we're a fam. And that should be the show about. And it's pretty much use the power of imagination and inspiration science, which is about awakening people and unite them, to bring them on the show as well and to share story and empower. So yeah, my show would be, I think what makes the show very different is that it's something that is entertaining, makes people laugh, but it's the foundation of it is through faith and unification. So it's something that I think creativity can be incorporated more in different ways.
And you're already thinking about the song?
The song of the show?
Yeah.
I think when it comes to the song of the show, I will compose it myself. Because I mean, like, in terms of, do you mean like the intro of the show?
Yeah, like for example, you have your own show. Like, what? Actually, the main answer of this question is, what's your favorite song? Like the song that popped your heart. Like it brings a lot of good memories in your life when you think about when you put in a very good mood.
Song. Wow, that's so difficult because I have so many songs. Like honestly, it's difficult to pick. I really can't say. I'm really sorry. I really can't. Like I have from Korean songs, from country songs, from chart songs. I love like also Ed Sheeran. I love I really love different songs. I really can't say. It depends on the mood.
Very good. Good. I think you need to wait for your show to come up, and after the song will fit well. The one will fit well after the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right, Ozzin, it's not the end yet. Okay, let's play now the word association game. So I'm going to give away some words, and you just tell me one word that comes to your mind. Okay, quick thinking.
Okay.
Let's start with family.
Love.
Money.
Impact.
Love.
Importance.
Life.
Purpose.
Sex.
Intensive.
Religion.
Religion. Unification.
I like this word. Politics.
Systems.
Fear.
Hugging.
Friendship.
Life-changing.
Desire.
Desire. Passion.
Regret.
Perspective.
Success.
People.
Happiness.
Soul.
Wish.
Peace.
And if I tell you Switzerland, one word.
Cheese. I don't know. It just came up.
It's funny you say that because I had a Swiss person on the show as well, and he said the same thing. Cheese, and William cheese. I don't know why.
Funny.
And if I tell you South Korean, one word.
Fruits. I have a lot of good fruits.
And the last one now, entrepreneur.
Entrepreneurship. Interesting, dynamic, I would say.
Very good. Right, so let's pretend now I'm going to meet your lovely mom for a cup of tea, and I'm going to ask her, tell me the most beautiful thing about Ozzin, and tell me something that she needs to improve on. What do you think she'll tell me?
Good thing. So I will start with the good thing. So the first thing she would say is that Ozzin is a person who never gives up. Like she can be sometimes stubborn, but when it comes to things that matter, especially the dream and impact, she's very resilient and can shift always the negative or any events that was negative quickly to something that is wise or in a positive way. So yeah, that's the level. And I have a huge love for people. Like no matter, like I cannot hate people. I always take these things as wisdom. And the things that I can improve on is it is sometimes to drop my ego as well. like as an entrepreneur, but also as a person. It's something that I improved over those years a lot, but I'm still working on. So, you know, like even though when I hear answers or things that I already know, I used to say, oh, I know, it's okay. But now taking it more with gratitude and saying, you know what, despite the fact I heard about it, I can always learn new. So adopting always a beginner mindset, no matter what, and taking everything that she says or someone says with much gratefulness and without, you know, raising my ego or defend myself or in some sort of ways. Yeah.
I see. And if I would ask the same question to your sister, should say the same?
To my sister, think about it. That's interesting. I should really ask my sister about it. What my sister would say is that I'm a very passionate person, you know, when it comes to life, very hungry for life and curious, that allows me to do multiple different, you know, things and breakthrough. And at the same time, crazy. We're both crazy, so never boring. But maybe the things that I could improve on is to maybe to actively listen to her sometimes, because maybe it's also connected with the ego. I love to listen to people, but there are moments or situations when you're so much into your element and your things that kind of the ears shut up, you know, like you don't want to like listen. And I think, yeah, actively listen first to her and everything. Yeah, that could be even better.
Very good. Okay, Ozzin, let's play now Ozzin and the magic box, and you can ask me a question. Right, you can ask me a question now.
All right, so the question I have is like, what is the purpose of your life and how did you get awakened to that purpose?
Wow, what a question. My God, I love it. Right, I think the purpose of life, Ozzin, is the fact that you can wake up every morning and be able and approachable to the world, whatever gonna come, whatever like positivity, negativity, challenges, love, you know, everything, anything. I think the purpose of life is just for you to wake up and just to be grateful. First of all, just be grateful for everything. Everything will come to you. They meant to come for a reason. They meant to come to be the person who you are. They meant to come to make you think, to make you wonder, to make you be angry for life, like to try to understand things in life. So I think for me, that's the purpose of life. Just waking up every single day with this mindset, you know, accept things and accept that you are vulnerable, that we are here to this world to share experience, to share moments, to share life experience, to teach, to learn. So that's the purpose of life to me. And when that kind of this message, I think this message, good, let me try to put in a way that I think I realized that when I think, let's say, when I start to understand that life is not just skies, you know, flowers, you know. I remember when I was very young, when of course I think all of us, when we start to realize that the world it's a different place, that we, you know, when you're a child, you just believe that the Christmas come like in 1 week, your birthday is always to come. You just have the thought about Christmas, birthday, you know, this kind of special occasions. But I think I realized when I'm very fortunate as well. I always feel myself the luckiest person in the world. I left my hometown, Brazil, when I was 19 years old. And at the time I didn't have plan B. I just had plan A. And this plan A was myself, you know. So I remember arriving in Portugal on my own. And I remember, my God, it was just you know, such a beautiful experience. Since now, I think life, as you were talking before, I think life is a beautiful college that teaches a lot. That's, you know, puts you in a place that you cannot learn anywhere. It's just facing life is the only way you can learn those experiences in life. So I believe when I was 19 years old, when I crossed the world from Brazil to Europe, come to Europe on my own, I think that's when I realized that the world, it's a place, it's a beautiful place to be, but you need to earn it. You need to learn, you need to grow, you need to be part of it, you need to find your place in the world. That's when I realized that as well. So yeah, beautiful question. My God, I've done already like over almost 400 people worldwide. Did no one ask this question yet? So good, very good. Thank you so much. Ozzin, as I was telling you before, my God, such a pleasure to talk to someone so first well-spoken, so intelligent, so full of life, so full, you know what I mean? I'm talking to you, I can see, like I can feel this vibe of someone who just wants, as I said before, just to run the world, you know what I mean? To find a place in the world, to share experience, and you pass all of that. I think you just talk to someone so young and so full of experience and so full of let's say, this mindset you have is just beautiful. It's just enjoyable. You just learn a lot just talking to you, spend some time with you. Thank you very much. Thanks so much for the time. Thanks for the interview. And before you go, if you don't mind to share a positive quote or a positive message, something that inspires your life.
Sure. So I have one quote that I live by and that brought me to where I am today, and I know it can bring me to where I want to, and it's called jump in at the deep end. It's really about to jump in cold water before someone else pushes you in, because at a certain point you will be pushed in anyway, so why not just jump? And I think really the moment when you have your breakdowns and the pains and a lot of traumas happens, I think that's one of your biggest blessings you can get. And the breakdown is your breakthrough. And breakthrough, you have to break out of your own system and literally kind of, like you have to become the new person. And every time, like when I was working in hotel and hosting like events and things, I was working with my manager, and one day he was sick, so they said like, yeah, we cannot handle the event, we have to kind of postpone or do something. And I said, no, manager, I will handle it. I will handle all 400-600 people alone. I will do the whole speech. I got this. And inside I was scared.
Of course.
But I said it, like, you got this. You just have to go ahead and do it. When I, got into entrepreneurship, dropped my degree, I was really scared. I was excited and scared, but I did it anyways. I used to be a very shy girl. I never raised my voice and said my opinion or would come to an interview like that. But because at the age of 14, 15, I started to always, do what scares me and always jump. And when someone said voluntary presentation, no one would raise their hands in the classroom. I always said like, yeah, that's me. And I hated presentation back then. But because I did it, I fell in love with that, and I fell in love to jump constantly, and that allowed me to always break through and meet so many amazing people and amazing projects in life. So yeah, it's really the advice I would give, like just jump in at the deep end and you will learn as you go.
Amazing. And there are two things as well. As you're saying that, I was just like going back my memory. I remember once I learned that life, as you said about jumping in the cold water, life is trying to show you the message. But if you don't get it, life is gonna, one point is gonna crush you. Life is gonna show you, okay, it's the time now. I've been trying to show you because sometimes we just go around, you're kind of scared, you know what I mean, to face it and to go there. But one point, life is gonna go, okay, I've tried, so now let's face it. And the other thing as well, you're saying, when you're gonna do something in life, even if you feel scared, go feeling scared, you know what I mean? Just go it, just do it, even feeling scared, you just need to do it. Just give the step. And things, there's a beautiful place out of your comfort zone, that's for sure. I agree with that.
Yeah, I think it's really great to imagine, it's not like you're avoiding your fears, but like hug them very tightly with you, like go with your fears, make your fears to your best friend.
Yeah.
People, when they ask me how do you remain that positive or resilient, it's only because if you think of the best case scenario, I think the best entrepreneurs, they're the ones who also can think of the worst case scenario. They know the worst situation, but they know they will not die, even the worst case scenario will happen, because that's the mindset, to know that opportunities are everywhere, to know that everything is possible. So it's important to embrace plan A with plan Z, to embrace the dark with the light, to embrace like the positive side with the worst, and to hug your tears like fears very tightly and go together, and then you become really unstoppable.
Absolutely, totally agree with you. Well, we keep in touch. Thanks so much for the interview. I really appreciate that. It was a pleasure connecting with someone like you. Really, really nice. Thank you so much. Okay?
Nice to meet you. All right.
Enjoy your weekend, okay? All the best. Bye-bye. So, did you like the show? don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.